You should be thanking your bullies. Really. You owe them quite the thank you, and they've done you quite the favor. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to turn your bullies into your biggest allies, because if not, they could become your biggest downfall. I'm also sitting in an Emirates Airbus 380. It's incredible, but not as incredible as the work my bullies have done for me. By the way, I'm about to fly to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and my client has paid for everything on this trip. This story is about how standing out, how being unique has put me in certain situations like this, and is a way for you to learn how you can also position yourself for the biggest wins. I'm being flown halfway across the world because my client wanted the team to feel the air, to hear the music, to taste the food, and immerse ourselves in a completely different culture in the United Arab Emirates. They paid for me. They paid for others to be picked up from our homes, to be escorted through the airport, have access to the first-class lounge, a first-class flight in the most incredible airline ever built, and then of course stay at the 5-star resorts, everything paid for, food to drinks, and a personal driver. They spent this much money on me and a few others, but why? What did we have to do out there? And the job was to do absolutely nothing. Nothing. Just be there. Experience the Emirates. Taste their food. Talk to them. Look at their walls and their floors. Hear their music. Look at their dress. Just see how that culture moves. Because they put so much detail into everything from the personal to the professional. You see, the client trusts the vision, the client trusted the process, and thinks that we're worth the thousands of dollars to have such an experience. That was my job, to just be. And you're again probably wondering, what does this video have to do with me? Well, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you how you can position yourself, not so much even to fly to the Emirates and across the world, but to have whatever you wish. That's a far cry for the little boy who got picked on growing up, because there was no end to that teasing. And that's not what makes me special, because I know you've had a share of that too. That's why I'm making this video, because I know that the creatives go through a little bit of a tougher life growing up, and I know you can relate. And as a creative director for an ad agency, this isn't just a trip, it's an investment from our client. The client said, go and experience everything Dubai has to offer. See how they live, see how they work, and how they put detail into everything. So here's what I did differently. I invested in what the bullies made fun of. And I didn't learn that immediately. It took some years to learn that, but that's what I did. And I want you to do exactly the same. So before I go into the story a little bit more, I want you to ask yourself 2 questions and then tell yourself one thing. You can follow along on the screen. Number 1, what was that underlying trait they were reacting to? What was it? Was it your creativity or your music? Was it the way you put your makeup on or the way you dressed? Was it the way you moved or the way you danced or the things you spoke about? Did you dare be too bold and have too much of an opinion? Wait, did you have a unique perspective? What was that underlying trait? Because whatever it was, every bully in your life, whether it was micro or a massive aggression against you, they probably picked on the same thing. It's important that you open that scar just a little bit and find out what that 1, 2, or 3 things were. Number 2, how has that trait helped you in your life now? How has that set you apart? Think about that. That could be good or it could be negative, and we're going to turn that into a good. And then number 3, it's something that I would like for you to say to yourself. But first, take a deep breath. And you say, thank you for showing me what makes me different. I own this, and I'm proud of it. But I'll take it from here. That moment, that is a quintessential moment that your life will take a different path. You see, when I was younger, I was different, probably like you. I didn't fit into that mold of what everyone was expecting. Probably a little bit like yourself, right? I stood out and I wasn't afraid to speak my mind, which was to my downfall back then, and to pursue what I loved, to draw the pictures I wanted, to listen to the music I wanted, to talk about the things that interested me, and even check out the books of the things that interested me. And you know what happens when you stand out? People notice. The bullies noticed. They laughed, they mocked, and they pointed out everything that made me unique. In fact, there was a whole choir of them by the end of the school year. And at that time, I thought I was being singled out for the wrong reasons. But today, I realize they weren't pointing out my flaws. They were highlighting what made me memorable. So go back to those questions I asked you. What was that underlying trait they were reacting to? How has that helped you in your life? And if it hasn't helped you yet, today is the day it's going to be different. All right, let me continue on. Bullies have a very strange way of doing us a favor without realizing it. They pointed out the very traits that set us apart. The ones that at the time, we might wish we could hide. But in reality, those are the traits that shape our careers, our creativity, and our success. I get paid to hold a camera and to have a unique perspective. I hope you do also. I get paid now to consult and just give my opinions. I'm giving my opinions and getting paid for it. Those same opinions that got little Walid made fun of in grade school. I want you to take what was bullied, what was pointed out, what was shown to everybody to make you feel small, and I want you to remember that because we're about to build your superpower. So think about those questions I asked you. What made you stand out? What did they react to? The very things I was teased for, being too loud, too opinionated, too unconventional, these are now the reasons I'm successful. It hasn't fully stopped and I haven't fully developed this, but I have been working on it in just the smallest amount of investment in myself. The smallest amount of flipping the script has changed things dramatically in my career and in my personal life. They're why my clients trust me to lead their projects. Those reasons are why I get flown first class to places like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and many other places. Why I get to sit in rooms with some of the most powerful people in the world. You see, my friend, the things that made you a target back then are going to be the very things that set you apart today. Isn't that a beautiful irony? So, what are your superpowers? Did you write them down? Did you think of them? What are those superpowers? You got them? Did you think of at least one? Because that's your superpower. In a world full of people trying to fit in, those are the traits that are going to make you irreplaceable. Today I'm in Dubai, not because I blended in, but because I stood out. Not because I blended in, but because I stood out. My clients wanted me and the team experiencing luxury firsthand because they want you to be able to create something, to have something so unique for their brand. And they know that creative minds leading their campaigns need to feel, to see, and to live that very essence of what they're selling. It's a long way from being mocked for standing out in a classroom, right? What is the one trait or the two traits they keep pointing out? Do they say you're too annoying? I think you're persistent. Do they think you're unrealistic because I think you're a dreamer and then you're going to be a doer? Do they not like the way you dress because it's not cool enough in their eyes? I think your focus is on the right things and not on the materialistic things. And your strength is that you are incredible at filtering out what is important and what's not and focusing on the things that are going to make you better, more money, and find more success. My trip to Dubai, it is because I did not fit in. It is because I took those traits and I said, then this is what makes me special. This is what makes me stand out from the crowd. This is what I'm going to invest in. That means invest my time, invest my efforts. This is what I'm going to put forward. This is what I'm going to lead with in every single meeting. This will be in every proposal, every single price sheet. Everything that I do is going to have these traits. This trip isn't a reminder that success isn't about fitting in. It's about owning what makes you different. Those bullies pointed out the things I didn't even know were special about me. They shined the light on my unique qualities, and instead of hiding them, I learned to embrace them. Again, go back to those questions. What made you stand out? What were those traits? Thank them for highlighting what makes you special. Thank you for giving me the roadmap to my strengths. And thank you for doing the free market research on what makes me unique and saving me thousands of dollars. You big dummy. The bullies, in an attempt to try to make you feel small, they were actually pointing to you in the direction of your greatness. And as I look out the window, as I walk down these halls, as I walk down the streets of the new Dubai and the old Dubai, a place that embodies luxury, vision, ambition, history, I'm reminded of one simple truth. In fact, let's put it on the screen for you. The world does not need another copy. It needs you in all your unique glory. So take what they laughed at, what they pointed out, and use it. Own it. It's your ticket to success. In the end, it's not about getting flown first class or experiencing the best of the best. It's about realizing that the journey here was paved by the very things I once thought were setbacks. If you saw this to the end, would you declare in the comments below, what is your superpower? What did they point out about you? And if you haven't yet, what script are you going to flip so that you win? I'm still learning this lesson, by the way. It's a long process, but even the smallest amount of effort, I have seen measurable progress. Let your bullies do the heavy lifting of pointing out what makes you special. Let them do the work. Then say thank you. You smile and you take it all the way to the top. My name is Walid Azami. My website is walidazami.com.